What's up, nail geeks? I am back this evening with Polish Pickup November 2019, and the theme is fairy tales. I have quite a bit of product to show you guys. I am so excited. After reviewing all of these that were sent to me, I have to say this has got to be my favorite month so far. This theme just really knocked my socks off with these finishes and these products. It's fantastic. So without further ado, I just want to side note real quick. I apologize for this video being a little bit late. I like to get this video out as soon as possible for you guys, but I had a little bit of a snafu with some things with the USPS. However, everything is here, so let's get started. First up is Baroness X Acetone Antidote. We've got the scent Hansel and Gretel, described as a gingerbread bundt cake topped with candied pears and a touch of bourbon-based glaze. This one is inspired by Hansel and Gretel, and the price is $4.25, and there is no cap. So this one smells really interesting to me. I definitely get that candy pear, and there is a for sure gingerbread bundt cake with it. This is a really interesting scent. It is very fantastic. If you can just hear me just sniffing over here. Very, very nice. It does have that nice candied feel to it, but it has this lovely holiday feel to it too. So per usual, I like to add this to an entire pump bottle of my Zoya bottle. And I also use 2 to 3 drops in a dap and dish for cleanup between swatching jobs. And I love this stuff. It's amazing. And you get the moisturizing power of acetone with the lovely lingering scent and moisturizing properties. And Baroness X also brings us Let Your Hair Down, described as a deep green leaning teal hollow with coppery metallic pigment, inspired by Rapunzel, and the price will be $11.50, and there is no cap on it. So this time of year, I usually start craving some sparkles and some Spectra Flare, if I'm honest, and this one definitely brings it. So overall, this one has a beautiful creamy formula. For opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 coats on it as it builds up crazy fast on the nail. You can see here on that first coat, very nice coverage. It does have that really ultra gloss feel on those brush strokes, just really nice. It dries down very glossy, so I think any top coat's going to be just fine with it. This builds up wonderfully here on that second coat, which you're about to see. Very lovely depth to it. Now this one is a linear holographic, does have a beautiful coppery metallic pigment to it that gives it this really soft type of golden glow in the background. So here on the full hand shot in just a moment, you'll see it kind of just gives it this really nice glowy feel to it. The holographic effect is at the forefront, but that shimmer is just very nice in the background here. No issues to report with this one, and per usual on the full hand shots, you are seeing a glossy top coat that I'm actually reviewing this month, which I will get to in just a moment. And next up, we've got blush lacquers. This is the Golden Goose, described as a light 24 karat gold linear holographic with gold flakes and holographic flakes. This is inspired by the Golden Goose. Price is $12.50, and there is no cap on it. I was really excited for this one. This one just brings it, and it really reminds me of golden tinsel. In the Facebook group, I actually mentioned that to somebody, and here I can prove it to you guys on the video. It is just so lush, so blingy and in your face. Lots and lots of holographic effect going on here, and the little tiny gold flakes here just give it just that extra oomph too. Really, really nice. For this one, I'm going to suggest 2 coats for opacity, and you're going to be good. I had no texture with this, no issues whatsoever to report with it. Now, this is what I would consider a true gold polish. There is not an antique type feel to it. I do feel like this is like molten gold on your nail. Very pretty, very kind of jewel toned, if you will. Just super crazy flattering. Even though it's a warm tone, as you can see here on the full hand shot, I thought it flattered me very well. So I think this is the type of gold that will look good on just about any skin tone. And once again, on the full hand shot, I am wearing that mysterious top coat that I'm reviewing. And by Danny Viana brings us to the Moon and Back, described as a warm gray base with added holographic flakes and gold metallic flakes. This is inspired by the book Guess How Much I Love You. Price is $11.50, and there is a 150 US and 15 UK bottle cap on it. So this one has a very curly formula, and it's super smooth on the nail. This one is what I would consider definitely a warm grade base here. Those little holographic flakes and gold metallic flakes give you a lovely scattered effect across the nail. They are of the smaller variety, so they will make a pond effect that, in my opinion, is a touch subtle in person. This one has really nice self-leveling effect, as you can see here on that second coat. I will suggest 2 coats for opacity on it, and you'll have beautiful coverage. I had nothing to report on the flakes here. Per usual, I give my bottles a good shake before applying, and I had no problems getting them up on the brush and onto my nail for application. So nothing to report here. I also think that that inspiration is very, very sweet. There is a longer version from Dani herself on Facebook if you want to check it out. Really sweet after that Goodnight Story book. And Cameo Color Lacquers brings us Not All Tales Have an Ever After, described as a rust-toned deep brick red jelly full of lime, copper, blue color shifting flakes, metallic gold and silver hollow micro flakes, scattered hollow sparkle, and a touch of lime to gold iridescent micro glitter. This is inspired by an image of the Book of Grimm's complete fairy tales, will be 11 and is capped at 95 US bottles and 5 UK bottles. So, quite the mouthful there. We have a crazy flattering red. I'm very picky on reds, like insanely picky, and I am here for the cool toned sparkly reds. This one is everything. I really feel like this is another one that is going to flatter just about any skin tone because of that base color. It's positively packed full of all types of flakes, as you can see here. You will get a larger particle type of holographic effect from it, and those little iridescent flakes that you can see in there that kind of reflect off as green, orange, and kind of a copperish effect. I had no texture with this one. Everything laid down nice and smooth for me. And it does dry down semi-gloss, so I would recommend a glossy top coat to really make this one pop like crazy on the nail. And next we have Emily DeMolly. This is the real deal, described as a dusty pink base filled with blue to pink shifting shimmer. This is inspired by the Nightingale by Hans Christian Andersen. Price will be 11, and this is capped at 200 US bottles and 20 UK bottles. So if you are familiar with the brand, as I figure most of you are, this is one of her very strong foil type shimmers. This is really up there with the ones that she's been releasing lately. It's just absolutely pretty crazy shifty on the final look. For opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 coats on it. It has a beautiful medium formula, stays put where you put it, and just very easy to apply. For opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 coats on it as it builds up really fast on the nail. And you can see here on that second coat, that base color is definitely what I would consider a really nice dusky kind of rosy type of color. And that shimmer crazy strong in person. You'll mostly see it as that lovely blue effect on the video, but on angles and in shaded lighting, you'll really see that pink shift come out to play. It's very glowy, very ethereal feeling, and I had no texture or anything with this one. Foxfire Wax and Bath Company brings us a hair oil. This is also inspired by Rapunzel in the theme from Baroness X so far for this month. This is a hair oil that has no parabens, formaldehyde, mineral oil, sulfates, SLS or SLES, and silicones. So it's just straight up good stuff for your hair. Now this is $8.75 and will have no cap. I wanted to show you guys it sprayed on my hand here. This has a very lightweight formula, but I want to note that spray sprays out a ton of product. So my hair is crazy curly when it's naturally and allowed to naturally dry. So I wanted to throw it out there that 1 to 2 sprays on your hand and then kind of rub your fingers together and then let it like scrunch up in your hair. At least if you have curly hair like me, that's how I found it to really benefit my hair. I have very oily roots, so personally I would recommend it from the mid to the end for your tips of your hair, just to give it some extra moisturizing power. And you can also kind of slather it on there, say on a weekend or something, and use it as a hair mask. I was out and about doing all kinds of stuff, so my curls fell a little bit, but you can see it's not greasy so long as you keep it down to 1 to 2 pumps, as this one packs a punch on that moisturizing power. Just a little bit goes a long way. Now, Glisten and Glow brings us a base and top coat duo. This will be $13.50 and there is no cap on the duo. So here I'm showing you the base coat because I'm going to show it to you actually applied along with her polish pickup shade. So here you can see it does add that really nice filled in effect. You guys can see my nails here that I do have very, very porous nails along with that wide load problem. So I'm just applying the base coat, really nice formula on it. It's not too thin, but it's not overly thick, so it lays a nice foundation. And here we have Glisten and Glow's Wrong Lever, described as a rich navy polish packed with pink to purple to orange to green color shifting Aurora shimmer, inspired by Yzma and Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. This one will be 12 with a 160 US and 20 UK bottle cap. So I'm going on top of that base coat that I just showed you guys from the brand. This has an insanely buttery feel on application. To be honest, I went in just a touch too thick on that first coat, but I'm actually kind of glad that I did that so you can see that really wonderful self-leveling effect that it has. So this is definitely a heavier formula, but it is so crazy easy to work with. Now, the shimmer in this one, I feel like was being quite a bit subtle in my swatches. So I want to note in person, it is very much obvious. In bright lights, you'll see it as this very lovely fuchsia-ish like pinky purple. And on angles, you'll easily see it shift over to oranges and greens at extreme angles. Very, very pretty. And that base color is definitely a deep, dark, vampy, rich navy. Very, very pretty. Now, the video I do feel like is being color accurate. So just know in person, you can definitely tell that the base color is a dark navy color. And here I'm going in with the next part of the duo for the top coat and the base coat duo. This is the top coat. I've heard a ton about it over the years, and to be honest, this is my first time trying it out. I have tested it a ton the last 2 weeks, and I have to say I definitely approve of it. It is crazy glossy as it dries down. It is a quick dry glossy top coat. So personally, I definitely approve of this duo. I think they're both fantastic, and they definitely helped out on wear time. Now, Indie by Patty Lopez brings us That Way, described as a medium blue crelly base with green to blue duochrome shimmer, iridescent multichrome flakies, scattered hollow micro glitters, and it glows bright blue in the dark. This is inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Price will be $11.50, and there is an 80 US bottle cap and a 5 UK bottle cap. So this one definitely feels like a jelly to me on application. I do feel like this is one of those types of polishes where I'm kind of on the fence as to what to recommend for opacity. So I'm going to say between 2 and 3 coats on this one, depending on obviously nail length and how you apply and whatnot. Very much going to depend on that. I do like to be definitive. However, I'm going to be on the fence on this one. So on the second coat here, you can really see that buildup starting to happen. In person, this is a lovely bright blue type of base, and you'll see a very strong green type shimmer in person. I feel like the video is definitely giving you an idea of that. And you can see lots and lots of scattered sparkles on this one. And Lemming Lacquer brings us Fight the Fairies, described as a dusty indigo base with red to orange shimmer, red, gold, green, and purple, blue, green iridescent color shifting flakes, and a scattering of hollow for added magic. This is inspired by an episode of Supernatural called Clap Your Hands If You Believe. Price will be $13, and there is no cap on it. So this one has pretty much I'm really like on the fence on this one. It feels like a crelly, but applies like a very rich jelly. And I think you can kind of get the idea on that first coat here. For opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 coats on this one. This is what I would consider more of a heavier formula, though it is very easy to use. So I don't mean that in a bad way. Now here on that second coat, you can see it's staying where I put it, and it builds up really fast on the nail. So Really, really lovely purple. I do feel like the video is being color accurate to what I see here in person. It is definitely a very vibrant, what I would consider vibrant, indigo with a very light dusky tone to it. Lots of iridescent flakes on this one, lots of depth to see, and in person there is that nice reddish type of shimmer going on here that at very extreme angles you'll see a touch of green come out to play. After top coating, I had no texture with this one. And Night Owl Lacquer brings us the Buried Moon, described as a blackened plum filled with gold to copper to green color shifting crystal chameleon flakes and aqua crystal flakes. This is inspired by the tale of the buried moon. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap on it. So this one is very interesting. I want to say this is probably the most flaky filled polish I think I've ever worked with. And I mean that in a good way. I had no issues whatsoever with it. Easy peasy, giving the bottle a good shake before applying. I had no problems picking out just a multitude of flakes on the nail, and they lay down nice and flat with me, so no issues to report there. That base color is very interesting. Definitely a blackened plum, so I do agree with the official description. It's just got this lovely vampy type of feel to it. Definitely kind of feeling this time of year kind of vibes. Really nice. And those flakes give such an interesting type of color mosaic looking feel to it. It does kind of remind me of stained glass. So as you can see on that second coat, very nice coverage. Those of you with longer nails, I would probably suggest that you might need a third thin coat. And after top coating, I had no texture with it. Just a really interesting, just crazy flaky filled polish. Very nice, and I'm gonna dub this one the stained glass polish. And next up, Night Owl also brings us the one who was both hero and villain, described as a clear based topper with black shreds, red metallic shreds, and holographic micro flakies. This is inspired by Maleficent. Price is $10 and there is no cap on it. Now this is Night Owl's contribution for indie pickup to pair along with her polish pickup shade. So I'm showing you guys one coat over a dark gray cream. This is a very, very dense topper. So personally, I honestly feel like if you took it to 2, maybe 3 very thin coats, you could probably wear it on its own. But since it was designed as a topper, that's how I went. And I actually Googled a good color palette so that I knew what base coat to wear. And as you can see here, full hand shot, lots of sparkles to see. And Pretty Beautiful Unlimited brings us Inconceivable, described as a black jelly base with a hint of multi-chrome pigment, silver holographic pigment and micro flakes and glitter, black holographic micro glitters, and a mix of 5 UCC flakies. This is inspired by The Princess Bride. Price will be $12 and there is a 150 US and 15 UK bottle cap on it. So this one has a very rich jelly-like formula on application. It does build up very fast as well. Now here on that first coat, you can see just a bit of my smile line poking out, but here on that second coat, you'll really see what I mean. It builds up very fast. So I would consider this one as a medium to slightly heavy on the formula. Very nice. It does self-level very nicely, so no issues there. This one does shine on a little bit on the matte side, so personally to really exploit the sparkles in this one, I would recommend a glossy top coat to make it pop. Lots and lots of flakes to see on this one, lots of sparkles. Now in person, there's also a very strong reddish type of shift to it, and you can easily see it shift over to gold on angles. So I did try to capture that in my macro shots. In the recap at the end of the video, I'll be sure to include a macro shot so you guys can see that. And Scofflaw Nail Varnish brings us Revenge of the Ugly Stepsisters, described as a sparkly lime green base packed with various glitters of bright pink, bright yellow, lime turquoise, and purple, finished off with a scattered hollow and vibrant violet sparkle highlights. This is inspired by Cinderella. The price will be $12.50 and there is no cap on it. So per usual, Scofflaw brings us a really jam-packed, super unique Crelly. This was really, really fun. The way those glitters complement that base color, I thought it was very, very nice. Now, For opacity on it, I am going to suggest 2 coats on it. I feel like this brand has really mastered that whole like ultra packed curly look, in that I really can't see anyone needing to go past 2 coats with it. It is of the more dense, heavier side for the formula, but I had no issues getting it to spread on my nail. Very, very nice, very smooth, and just really builds up crazy fast on the nail. Now, I did go in with the top coat, the Glisten and Glow top coat, which is what I was testing in this video, and I had no texture with it. So definitely this one is a little bit on the thirsty side with all the glitters in it, and it does dry down heavily matte, but I had no problems just going in like normal with that top coat. And as you can see on that full hand shot, very smooth to the touch. And finally, we have Supernatural Lacquer, Found My Heart in Turnanock, described as a slate gray curly with copper shimmer and contrasting blue to green and orange to gold flakes. This is inspired by Carnival Row. Price will be $12, and there is no cap on it. P.S. If you have not seen this show that this was inspired by, I highly recommend checking it out. So we have a lovely jelly-like feel on application. This one, for opacity, I am going to suggest 3 coats on it to really build it up. Though personally, if you don't mind a touch of VNL, your visible nail line, showing on the second coat in a more delicate manner, then you'll be good to go there. Now this one has a really strong shimmer in it. It comes off coppery, and those flakes give a really pretty strong iridescent effect in the final look. So you can see here, I had no problems with them. They are laying down nice and flat for me, and it builds up very easily by that 3rd coat. So going in with the top coat that I am testing out this month, I had no texture or anything like that to report, and here you can see that shimmer really starting to pack a punch on that final coat. Definitely got a strong self-leveling property here, no issues to report. Now it does dry down a little bit on the satin side, so personally I would recommend a glossy top coat to really exploit the flakes and the shimmer. Now Polish Pickup opens November 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern Time and will run through November 1st at midnight Eastern Time. Wish listing is currently opened. I will link you guys below to Polish Pickup's site so you can load up those wish lists. And I will also link you guys to Polish Pickup's Facebook fan group so you can see additional sneak peeks to all of the goodies that are being offered this month. Now, I know quite a few of these items, especially the indie pickup items, I kind of just blew through on actually voicing over. I do like to keep these videos short and sweet, so if you want more of an actual, more thorough, in-depth review, highly recommend checking out my blog post, as I will be able to actually write out my thoughts and not feel so rushed as I did on the video for that. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.